Welcome. Um, I'm here joined by Trey the Explainer and Carmine of Red Team Review, and we are going to discuss the Mad King. The Mad King, the thing that has taken over the community's discussion of the week, eclipsed House of the Dragon quite a bit. All of this talk of the prequel play that took place in England, Stratford upon Avon this week. After a week of delays, they canceled a week of shows. It finally showed, and the super fans have leaked all of the information back to us, and we're going to discuss that today. Um, Carmine has released a video, and he's organized it here, so we're kind of going to go through the video and talk about it for a while. And you'll pretty much, I think, by the end of this, it'll be as if we've seen the play, I think.
So, of course, like I've been saying it everywhere. I don't think I said it in the video, but I had people in my community who went. There would have been more, but of course, it was canceled like 5 times. And the people who could afford to stay there the extra days and go, they reported back to me. I spoke to at least 5 different people, including Indie Geek, Robert from Indie Geek, and this one other guy who's also a content creator, but I don't think he does Ice and Fire stuff. He's the one that sent me the stage play pictures. And I tried my best to get as much information as I possibly could. Some of it may not be completely there, but it's like 90 to 95% accurate of what we can expect. So, also, hey, since you have my video up, put a like on that shit. Thanks.
Oh, sure. Um, so I've talked to some people myself, and I've seen a lot of people's reviews, and a lot of people are very impressed with the spectacle of the show. Um, and here's the thing: not that going to theater isn't incredible and a wonderful experience, but I think from what people have been telling me, I think the types of people that have been very impressed with the spectacle have not, say, seen a Broadway show before, or something like this. Because I mean, it's not that these aren't incredible things, but it's sort of like seeing a blockbuster movie where yeah, it's incredible what people can do with movies these days. But at the same time, this is kind of old hat for theater in the past like 30 years. And so I think a lot of people are like, "Whoa, it's such an incredible spectacle on stage." But at the same time, like, yeah, but that's what almost all like big theater is these days. So yeah, it is like objectively, I would say it's objectively incredible, but subjectively, if you go see Broadway shows or whatever, or if you go to see other Royal Shakespeare Company shows, you're going to see this sort of stuff too. Um, for example, a lot of people were really impressed with the puppeteering work. So I hear that the mountain is portrayed by a giant puppet in the show, which, you know, does that really make sense considering the mountain is only like a foot taller than Robert? Should he really be a giant puppet? But here's the thing: is the Royal Shakespeare Company has employed a puppeteering crew for the last 15 years, and every year in their season there is a puppet. There is a show that utilizes puppeteering. I think there was a adaptation of My Neighbor Totoro that they had that was using puppeting. There's a As You Like It. They go back, and every year they utilize their puppeteering crew. So they were on hand. So the fact that like, oh, it's really incredible that I got to see these puppets. Yes, because the Royal Shakespeare Company has this puppeteering crew that's on hand that does this, that has worked with Henson.
And
And
I've
stuff
seen
like
like
that.
high
Yeah.
school plays that have good puppets in them. You know, I saw like Into the Woods, and they had like a little donkey puppet and a little hand puppet. It was good. It was like, wow, that's a really cool thing. And that's like
Yeah.
high school. You know, that's
It
like
kind of
no
started because
budget.
there is a there is a I mean, in Hamlet there is a moment in which Hamlet sets up a play for Claudius to watch, and so there is this play within a play, and a lot of times they'll have the play be done with puppets as the play within a play, and so it's been kind of a thing to add puppets every once in a while to like these shows. You gotta throw the puppeteers some bones, but yeah. The other thing, so here at this beginning of Carmine's video, he's showing scenes from medieval times.
Game of Thrones Mad King play last night finally delivered the first showing, and I'm hearing some very interesting things. Of course, I could not attend, but several people in my community were able to, and they were kind enough to tell me what went down in terms of lore and story beats. Before we get into it, a few things you should know. First off, this
is all from medieval times. Medieval times is incredible.
To do that. That's awesome.
Let me give the audience a bit of like why I do this, and Trey and Preston probably understand exactly what I'm saying. Trying to find the right. First off, general audiences for a YouTube video or anything else have the attention span of a fucking fly. We can see when you guys stop watching our videos, like audience drop off. Like we can see stuff like that. So like putting something on screen. Like I have a hard time just trying to find shit to put on screen to keep the people like, hello, it's jingling keys. Like it's a pain in the ass. So I figured that like this would come close to it, you know.
Carmine, I like the idea that somebody watches this and thinks that like the play has this in it. You know, the play looks like this, has like a giant horse on stage with like a jump. So do they have horses in this? I
thought there was going to be jousting, but at the same time, and so I was like, oh, did they get some medieval times people? Because that's actually would be new. But here's the thing is that the stage
it's not that big.
Is not that big. And so I'm impressed if they're able to do jousting with such a small, I mean, even the width.
No.
The width of those to have
that's like like 3 horses like width, and you kind of need like 4 or 5, you know, right.
I mean, just think about how much space a medieval times has. Like when you're at medieval times, you're really far from the horses just on a safety situation. There's no way that they would send.
There's no joust. There's no way you'd bring a horse, like one horse out here, right? Like, do they have horses, Carmine, or were those
I think they do. I think they're walked out.
That's crazy.
I think they do walk out horses.
Sorry, I saw this horse. I thought that was from the stage play.
I'm trying to think if no, that's the werewood. Here we go.
Oh yeah. I guess
so. They have them, but they have them bringing out.
You're probably right that they're walked out. Like there's probably somebody leading them or something. Unless they are riding them.
I mean, it's impressive the horses aren't getting spooked.
Right.
If that's a real horse, or is it a puppet horse?
Carmine, do you know?
No, I have no idea. That was one of the questions.
That seems like such a big. That seems like it's like an extra cost. You know, like that's a huge extra cost to help manage like at least like 2 or 3 horses. You know, like I feel like they just have. They do like the guys in under a sheet kind of move, right? Like right. Like,
yeah, it seems it would be much safer to do guys under a sheet, just because you don't want horses to crap on the stage. Like that's the thing. A horse comes out and he shits on the stage. You have to have somebody go out and like pick up that shit real quick.
Yeah. I'm assuming these are probably guys or puppets or something like that. I don't have a really good view of them. Or like a mechanical thing, like a mechanical puppet thing that you wheel out.
Though I do have to say that balcony and everything does remind me of medieval times, where there's like
where they have the fake king. They have like the
with his little head mic, and like I don't know if you've seen it. He has got a little head mic.
Yeah.
At medieval times. Yeah. So yeah, the stage is surprisingly small. I was really surprised how small the stage is. So we're
canon to the books.
I don't think. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't seem like there's going to be actual jousting.
No, I don't think so.
That'd just be way too dangerous.
The television show.
Look at all these the splinters from that jousting.
Oh my god! I mean, like I said, when you go to medieval times, you're way away from the jousting.
Here's the balcony that we were talking about.
Right.
According to George R.R. Martin's friend and
So we get to Elio's comment. So I'd like to ask you, Trey. Do you think Frozen on Ice is canon to Frozen?
Yeah, probably not. I've never seen the contents of Frozen on Ice. Like like sometimes they will surprise you. They're like, we actually put thought into this, and it's canon to Star Wars or something. Probably not.
Canon. I mean, so Elio makes a comment about canon.
Now you got me curious.
And he says that he's like, parts are canon and parts aren't canon. But I mean, that's everything, right? Isn't everything like that? I mean,
you can say that about any adaptation or anything like that,
right? Like,
it means nothing.
Like if my son pretends to be Spider-Man, like it's canon in the sense that Spider-Man is a charter.
Hold on. Let me defend him here for a second, because someone in my comments, someone that's also in your community as well, they said here, thank you for that brilliant contribution, Elio. I see you went to Kuwait School of Clearing Things Up. And I tried to defend Elio in my comments, to which Longshanks replies, I would have preferred he had said nothing. Statements like this are less than helpful and just get people arguing about what's canon from George and what isn't. I understand what he's saying, but also at the same time, people go into this thinking that George helped write the whole thing, which he didn't, and they think everything in here is canonical to the books. Yeah. And Elio is trying not to overstep, because who the fuck knows if George is going to come out and actually say, like, okay, guys, so this part here was canon and this here is completely what they made up. He doesn't even blog anymore. His blog is just a glorified advertisement page for other shit nobody cares about. So I see what Elio is trying to do here. He's not trying to overstep, but he's trying to make the audience know that some of the stuff here, yeah, it may be, and some of it is not. And it's up to George.
And we'll give Elio a hard time when we talk to him. But the thing is, the concept of canon to begin with is idiotic. Okay. Like, and I'm talking even before sci-fi fantasy storytelling, modern canon,
even Bible, even like,
right. That's what I'm saying. Canon. Like, Bible canon is ridiculous because, like, the Bible contradicts, and it clearly contradicts, and it's not univocal. I mean, and all these things. And what's amazing about Ice and Fire is it's supposedly univocal. It's George, but he can't even, like, one person can't even be univocal. One person can't even be can't contradict themselves. So, like, to say, like, what's canon, like, the thing is like, George changes his mind about shit. So, like, again, like, Carmine and I, we found this old blurb that talked about previews for A Feast for Crows, and it mentioned Asha's rescue mission of Theon. And of course, that doesn't happen in A Feast for Crows or A Dance with Dragons, but weirdly...
Bro,
what?
No, because it...
Yeah.
Okay.
But it did happen in Game of Thrones. And that's way too much of a coincidence that there would be mention of an Asha rescue mission of Theon that didn't happen in Feast for Crows or Dance with Dragons that did happen in A Game of Thrones. I mean, in the Game of Thrones TV show. And so Carmine and I, we theorized that George had some sort of plan to have an Asha Theon rescue mission. He told that as a plot point to D&D, and then later just changed his mind and didn't put it into his writing. And that somehow, like, happened. So is the Asha Theon rescue mission canon? I mean, it came from George, probably. You know, it was put to screen, but then the books came out and it wasn't in there. And so
there's gonna be some Georgisms in here too. You're gonna notice it. Like, you and Trey specifically, since you've both read George's other stuff, there's gonna be one point where I go into it, and I'll tell you to pause it, and you're gonna know exactly which one of George's books it's from, because someone told me, oh, that's from this book. We'll get to it.
Yeah, but the point is like, they're like, Ice and Fire canon is already contradictory, and if you're never going to get the end of the book, then we don't really know anything. Like, even something that, you know, like R plus L. Well, even something like, okay, Stannis burning Shireen. Okay. Here's something that fans theorized about. George went and told D&D. They put it to screen in Game of Thrones show. So is it canon that Stannis is going to burn Shireen? Well, I'll tell you this, logistically in the books, it seems fucking impossible. They're nowhere near each other. So what do you do at this point? Like, is it canon? Because I don't see how logistically that can happen. But at the same time, I believe that George did have an intention at some point to do that and told D&D that. So what happens when like George's own So Spake Martins like can't work out? Like what is canon? What is clear? Like,
because you're right, like the burning Shireen could be like the Asha thing, where like it was this thing that he intended to do, but maybe he realized later that like, oh, I can't do that.
It just wouldn't work. Or another one I use is Brienne killing Stannis. Clearly foreshadowed in A Clash of Kings when she first does her mission with Cat. You don't stand in my way. If I have to kill Stannis, you don't tell me that I can't do it. Foreshadowed. Boom. Right there. And then in the show, she ends up killing Stannis. Feels pretty fitting, but logistically speaking, they're nowhere fucking near each other. How is Brienne ever gonna fucking kill Stannis? It just, I don't know. So
you're right. It's like Jamie killing his own children and becoming king. You know, like that was canon at some point, but now it's not. That was
canon until it wasn't. That's the thing is, I saw some comments like stuff is canon until it's not. You know,
like the thing, like what's the thing where he was like asked at a con about Rorg and Biter, and like,
right? Rorg was
just like, this is part of the lore now.
Yeah, that Rorg and Biter were part of like fighting pits in King's Landing, and he just like made it up on the spot. Sure, why not? Like what? Like what you crap is not canon, you know? Like, and what do you do about contradictions? What do you do about Kristen Cole and the contradictions that just are completely different, or stuff that's ambiguous? Like, is Jace a bastard or not? Who knows? It's purposely written ambiguous. So I don't know. It's this whole thing and this whole play, this whole discussion of it is just like, no, nothing in here is canon because, well, one, there is no canon. Canon is a stupid concept. There is no canon. But if there were canon, it's just what's in the fucking book, and it's what's in the most recent book because he starts retconning everything. So it's like whatever the last word is canon, which is also a weird thing when you start thinking about authors because sometimes as their work goes on, it gets crappier. Take like Dune, you know, there's a lot of stuff in the later books where people are like, I just like to think that didn't happen. I'm just going to focus on the early books, you know. But
the joke that you are not aware of is people keep saying lately, everything I like is canon and everything I don't like is not canon.
Yeah.
That's basically what religious people do. That's basically Christianity.
But you can understand, like, in the oral history of like a story like Oedipus or the Odyssey or Iliad, like how much those stories must have changed over the years. But I'm going to take this part. I'm going to put this other one in. Okay, so
co-writer Elio Garcia, some parts are canon, but a lot of it isn't. But always remember, the books come first in terms of canonicity. The other thing you should know is that even though several people have come to me with what happened, they mostly align on about 95% of the story. Certain people left out certain things they felt weren't too important, while some added smaller details they felt were. For example,
so it's important to note that like during a theater run, the story can change. Like some lines are like just don't get delivered right. Some lines are changed. They come up with a better line. Like if you went to see The Heights by Lin-Manuel, like it's complete. Like the one that exists today is completely different than the one that was first put on. It just stuff changes. The jokes change, the lines change, the plots change, stuff like that. But
so real quick before you start, I need to ask Robert from In Deep Geek. The person I spoke to went the first day. They said Pycelle was not in it. But Robert, I know, went the first and second day, and I guess Pycelle was in the second day, I think. I'll have to ask In Deep Geek, but it doesn't matter.
Wow.
For example, when someone... was telling me about Tower of Joy, they left out the detail of Arthur Dayne's sword having a cool effect on it, but someone else did mention it. So I tried my best.
Maybe the effect only worked one day. Like
maybe it was broken.
No. It was broken the first day. They're still working on their pyrotechnics.
I compile as much as I could, all the bits and pieces of information, but it is. No. Basically, what I'm saying here is, the people I spoke to, they went the first day, but like they all saw the same thing. But one person mentioned the fact that his lightsaber turns on and off.
Yeah,
I mean that's what basically described it. And the other person didn't mention it. Like certain people are mentioning certain things. Like for example, one person mentioned Oswell Went might be gay, and the other person did not mention it at all. So like people are mentioning different things to me based off what they think is important.
Oh, I also love the fact that John Conn isn't in it. Like he's just like, how is John Conn not in the fucking play?
John Conn and John Aaron are both not in the play. Like bad day for Johns.
Well, that's the thing is like George was talking about like how like we were talking about Joffrey Lonmouth. Remember this? Like he's not in, right?
There's no Joffrey Lonmouth in the fucking show.
Like, what was George looking at? What was George reading?
But here's the thing: is when he pitched this thing, he was like, "Do a play about Harrenhal," and then they came back and they're like, "Yeah, we can't come up with anything, so we're just gonna fucking like do a whole bunch of random scenes for all of fucking Robert's Rebellion." Okay, and he's just like, okay, like, so here we are.
Skip to Lyanna. Possible I might miss a few things, so keep that in mind. That said, what surprised me about the play are the main characters and who they focus on. You think it'd be Rhaegar, Ned, and maybe even Robert, but no, it's actually Lyanna Stark, Elia Martell, and Ashara Dayne. They seem to be the main focus of the story and are explored in great detail. That said, let's start with Lyanna.
So, I've read some people say, and I want to say this now because it's an important point. Okay, the play is, as you're mentioning, the play, the main characters are three women, and somebody wrote like, oh, they're trying to make some sort of like feminist play, and I'd like to say that like. That's not understanding what feminism is. Okay, and this is the same problem with like the last few seasons of Game of Thrones, where you had those Entertainment Weekly cover that was like girls on top, and it's like feminism is about removing barriers in society that harm or restrict women. And so, if you're writing a feminist story, it's about those barriers and about overcoming those barriers or dealing with those barriers or how women suffer from those barriers. That's what the story would be about if it's a feminist story. If you have a story that's just a bunch of women that are not constrained by anything, that's not a feminist story. That's just a story about women being unconstrained, which is not reality. Women are constrained. I mean, in a sexist world. So, and this is my problem with what I've heard of the show right now. Okay. All of the women in the show, we're forgetting that this is a medieval fucking fantasy story where women are not given very many rights. And what we hear is that like Elia is actually the one that's controlling Rhaegar. Lyanna is the one that's actually controlling Rhaegar. Everybody, all the women are fucking each other. They're trying to they're trying to start fights. They're fucking all over the place. Like
the Dornish women are liberated, but that's because it's Dorne. Like that's just like just juxtaposed to women in the North. Like, come on.
It's going a little far with Dorne. I mean, if you remember, like Doran Martell is made uncomfortable by Ariane's sexuality. Like he's Dornish. Like, this idea that like the Dornish are just fucking all over the place and there's just no standards. It's like, you forget that Quentin is Dornish. Doran Martell is Dornish. Like just because
prudes.
like Oberyn and the Sand Snakes
it's Oberyn, yeah.
Like
Oberyn's just so iconic, as everybody knows.
You know, everybody, you know, it's like Vulcan. Everybody acts like Spock. Like, oh, okay. They don't have anybody that's different. There's not bad boy Vulcans. There's no emo Vulcans. There's no like contrary Vulcans. No, everybody acts like Spock. That's fucking Dorn. But this is my problem. Is from what I hear, it's like the later seasons of Game of Thrones, where all of a sudden, this isn't a sexist society where women are constrained. But again, I haven't seen the play, so I don't know. But it's suspicious to me.
The play opens with her in front of a weirwood tree, praying that she might forge her own path in life and choose her fate. And that's
That sounds very George to me.
Is it? I mean, so I don't know if you just wrote this a little wrong here, but like destiny, you can't choose your own destiny. Like, do you understand what I'm saying, Carmine? Did somebody use the term "choose their own destiny"?
yes, multiple people. So I just
Okay,
put it
I'm
in
just
there.
saying that
The
like
way they wrote it.
if something's your destiny, it's inevitable. You can't choose your own destiny.
I wrote it exactly. I wrote it in there exactly how people worded it. So
George loves his choosing.
He loves his choosing, but like, doesn't that contradict? Doesn't that contradict prophecy? Like, why is she trying to fulfill prophecy? Here's the other thing. If you believe in prophecy, why would you try to fulfill it? Because you're like, it's already going to be fulfilled. It's prophecy. Like, you can just sit back and do nothing. It's inevitable. Like, what's the...
Then again, Preston, there's Christians that are like, we got to fulfill the end times prophecy by giving Israel a state or whatever, you know, like
what the fuck is happening? Like, what's...
people aren't super rational.
I know, it's just so weird. Like that she begins with like, I want to, like, because don't get me wrong, it sounds like she's like, oh, I'm feeling a little constrained by being married off to Robert. I'm not choosing my destiny here. I want to choose my destiny, and I want to choose my destiny by being constrained by like an unyielding prophecy of the future. Like what?
Yeah.
Well, again, this is how the play starts, and I know exactly what you're saying, which is why in my script I put fate, not destiny.
Yeah, I heard you say right. You chose the better word. You can't choose destiny.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm just saying, like, that's just how people worded it. I'm gonna put it in exactly what they said. But she starts out wanting to like do her own thing, and then towards the end, it's very Georgeism from what I'm told. But you know,
this sounds also, Georgish.
Press the K button. Don't use your mouse. Just press the K button.
Fine.
Like start and stop.
But by the way, okay, I want to say. This is the fan fucking fiction plot. Like this is my fan fiction story that Lyanna was into the prophecy.
Holy shit!
I was
telling Carmine.
I was telling Carmine that yeah, this sounds like the last Jamie chapter when this is revealed, right? And then the Dany chapter with
I mean, I think in the Bran chapter I wrote where he does the flashback to the tree, like Lyanna and Rhaegar are talking about prophecy. Like that was years ago. But like I say, I think there's two things so far that are fanfic plot points that, like, it's not like I've heard people talk about Lyanna being obsessed with prophecy in the fandom. Like outside of the fanfic, Lyanna also being obsessed with prophecy is not something like I've seen except in the fanfic. Like.
What's funny is that you're doing the Star Wars theory thing. When Ahsoka first came out, Star Wars theory, he wrote his own fanfic about it, and he kept saying the entire time, "They stole my script. This is my script."
I suppose if you're starting, look, I do think it's a coincidence, but like, I suppose if you're starting from the position of this needs to be about Lyanna being the one who has all the power, and because she's the main character. It's got to be her doing the prophecy shit, not Rhaegar the whole time. If you're starting from that starting point, that Lyanna is going to be the main character, then I think you'd get there like naturally. But nobody, and thus no one really talks about Lyanna being in control of the prophecy because no one ever thinks of Lyanna as being a main character ever. Anyway, I'm just saying two fanfic plot points: Lyanna being into prophecy and Ashara Elia lesbian lovers. That's both the fucking. Those are two Sweet Robin fanfic plot points. Though though admittedly the second one was put in as a fucking joke. As a fucking joke.
Big part of her story, which we'll get to in a minute. But the play confirms that she was the Knight of the Laughing Tree and that she gets with Rhaegar willingly. Pause it there.
Yeah.
Real quick, one thing I forgot to add here that someone told me later as I finished this. The play actually tries to make you guess who the Knight of the Laughing Tree is at first. It does this thing where it's like, oh, it could be Ned, it could be Brandon, it could be Benjen, it could be Howland, and then we ultimately see that, oh, when Rhaegar unmasks the Knight of the Laughing Tree, it's Lyanna.
Right. Now, of course, like the fandom has been talking about Lyanna being the Knight of the Laughing Tree forever. George, I think the biggest hint that George thought Lyanna would be the Knight of the Laughing Tree is the Arion sample chapter where we meet Elia Sand and her being a 14-year-old jousting girl who's very sexually liberated or at least, pretending to be sexually liberated or something. But, I think that's the closest we get to the idea that George is hinting that Lyanna is the Knight of the Laughing Tree. That said, I know the fandom has thought of this, and I know George certainly hinted at it in the text. It's a really fucking stupid idea. Like, Lyanna being Knight of the Laughing Tree is a dumb fucking idea. It makes no fucking sense that a 14-year-old girl from the north would be good enough at jousting to unseat somebody and then have a booming voice. That is stupid. That is really stupid. Some people try to justify it.
But Preston, they said she was as good as a centaur on her horse. That she was very good at. She was a good horse rider, which means you're good at jousting. That's what that means. There's no other skills involved. There's no other skills like strength or.
Trey is very much like taking the argument sarcastically that people put forward. That because there is a line that Jamie says something like, jousting is like 90% horsemanship. It's like bull fucking shit, man. Do you know how fucking heavy a lance is? Like, you think just fucking couching like, I don't think I could fucking couch a lance for 20 feet. Like,
while riding.
Oh my God. Like, if I've never done it before, like, hold a shield and a couch a lance and ride a fucking horse and keep that lance steady, having never done that? What? Like, what? Like, no, you could never fucking do that. This is Lyanna being the Knight of the Laughing Tree is fucking dumb. And I understand it very well. It may be George's idea, but it's fucking dumb.
This makes so much more for Ned. Yeah. Ned's got training. Like, Ned is specifically said to have training with jousting, and he's done it before.
Raised in the thing is, we have a
character that's we have a character that's done it before, and then several characters that have never done it before. Like who is more likely to do okay? The guy that's done it before, or the guy that's never done it before.
Such a dumb.
It is a dumb plot point, but it does like it tracks with George not really understanding certain things. Like, I could totally see him just being like,
like horseback riding a horse. Yeah, like. What's funny?
Like, it's like
his wife. What's funny is his wife's really into horses.
Right.
Though maybe she got into horses later, but once they got their money, but it's kind of funny. That like he's just so clueless on horses. Oh well. Okay. My rant.
All of this we all suspected and kind of accepted as truth. What is new is that she might be a green seer and is motivated.
Well, everybody knew that. Everybody kind of thought that Lyanna's a warg. or a skin changer, right?
Mm.
You know, all the centaur talk and stuff. But
Motivated by prophecy of ice and fire. This is where she and Rhaegar are mostly in tune with each other. The prophecy is
all right,
one of the main
stolen my stolen Sweet Robin's fanfic plot point. But where would she
Wait, so
find? Yeah.
Carmine, so is she like warging horses? Do you know like what she's warging like in the play, or is it just kind of implied?
I guess it's implied. Some people were a little unclear on that. Again, I'll have to ask. Yeah, I understand something, man. When a lot of these people that went to go see it, including the people I spoke to, some of them like read. They didn't read like. How do I explain this? They read the books. Some didn't read all of them, but some read most of them,
Okay.
and they're not as neurotic and obsessed with it as Preston.
Yeah, because
you
that's
and
the thing.
myself
It's like
are.
a warg. Like a warg is a person
Right.
like a person specifically with a wolf. You know, you have to have a wolf. It's not the show turned warg into like just a you can skin change.
And
like
let's
there's
be clear
synonyms in the
here.
show.
One does not simply warg into Hodor, you know. That meme, you know.
Let's be clear
Yeah.
here. Several YouTubers went to go see this, but I think the only person I really trust who probably actually read the books would be In Deep Geek, and I would love to have a conversation with him about it and ask him these questions. But like I was explaining to Preston earlier, In Deep Geek mostly uses Twitter to communicate with me. He does not know how to use Discord or even have it. I don't think he's going to get on Zoom. I don't even think he uses that. So I've asked him a couple of questions here. I can ask him that one too. But it's going to take him a while to get back to me because remember time differences and all that. But
Right.
no, the people who you know how it is. Ice and Fire fans, casuals think there is no skin. It's everything's warg. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So again, I'm only putting down what I was told.
To be fair, there isn't any difference between warging and skin changing. It's just that warging is a subset of skin changing for wolves,
Right.
and you know, it just becomes the name for that. You know,
it's less clunky than skin
congressman and representative. You know, people use those interchangeably wrong, that kind of stuff. But
things driving their relationship, but they do love and care for each other. Based off what I've been told, Leon.
They do love and care for. Oh, this is Robert and Lyanna. They hardly know each other.
Is actually there was always pause it there. There was always like this idea that Rhaegar and Lyanna running away, like it's a spur of the moment thing where they like we're really into each other, but they're doing so like spur of the thing. No, they actually go into great detail. Like Rhaegar and Lyanna are actually into each other because there is always like that one group of people who think that it was one-sided. Not in the play, at least.
Yeah. But I mean, they don't address the fact that she's fucking 14.
I mean, she does act juvenile, from one person told me. So
I know, but like, it's just
do they emphasize how young most of these characters are? Or do they age them up like in the show?
No, I believe she is. The ages are accurate to book.
Right, but like, okay. Where's the?
But do they like emphasize it? Like, do they bring it up?
No, these are full-grown adults, like playing these playing children.
Mm.
I mean, Lyanna's 14 and Rhaegar is 22, and that's. George is, of course, like being intentional here with Romeo and Juliet parallel, but because Juliet is 13. But like even Romeo and Juliet acknowledges that Juliet is way fucking too young. Like even Shakespeare is like, yeah, Juliet's way too young, and this is why this is a bad idea. This is a tragedy, It does bug me that this play is such a fucking whitewash of Rhaegar. Like, yeah. Rhaegar is doing no wrong. He's not kidnapping Lyanna. It's mutual. But we're not going to mention the fact that it's an inappropriate 14-year-old with a 22-year-old. It's a child with an adult. And then also, it's okay that he's cheating on his wife because his wife's cool with it. Like Okay, he can
They
do.
had an open marriage.
They had an
this whole
open marriage.
time.
He can do no wrong. Like, why are we fucking sucking Rhaegar's dick here? Like, what's the point?
The Elia in a cup chair memes are fucking crazy but hilarious. Holy shit, the Elia in the cup chair. Fuck, man. Oh my god. If you keep pausing, by the way, we're gonna be here all day, just so you know.
Yeah. Should we keep going?
Fine.
Pretty awesome character, being super close with her brothers, specifically Benjen, and she doesn't hate Robert, not really. In fact, even though that line about Robert not being faithful is still in there from the books, she does comfort him and cheers him on during the tourney. What's really interesting is that after she and Rhaegar run off together and her father and brother die, she gets a bit manic and latches on to the Song of Ice and Fire prophecy as like divine justification, that her family's brutal deaths must serve some higher purpose. She also believes that in order to bring out the prince that was
Which fits so well with her choosing her destiny.
promised, they must sleep together under the bleeding star while that's out, and that night is when Jon is conceived. There are other new bits.
About the comet.
There's the comet comes back, baby. It shows up twice. It's every 15 years.
I'm trying
apparently.
to think of when was there a comet during?
I don't remember anything being mentioned of I think the red comet of the birth of dragons, like in the end of Game of Thrones, is like the only red comet that is mentioned, right? There's not
Right,
like
I'm trying to remember if there's a comet at Summerhall. Is there a comet like
I think that's made up for the show or from the this play.
So I asked one of the people who went to the play. This is what he said, because I asked him here specifically. There's a red comet during the rebellion, and then again another red comet during Clash of Kings when that happens. He says here, yes, there is a red comet, Volcrin, during the rebellion by the play's lore. There's an interesting detail here that the Maesters declare that Rhaegar was born under a red star, and then also his son Aegon was born under a red star. Another detail I forgot to add in the video is that Ilya has Aegon while she's at Harrenhal. So, but the purpose of this is surely to make it clear how those looking for prophecy will find it and lackeys will appease in that. In the play, not only do the characters discuss the red comet, Lyanna showing it to Rhaegar, but mechanically, there's also a strong red light coming in from that direction during that section of the play.
So
there's a moment.
Let me get this straight. There's multiple red comets.
This is way too many fucking comets, man. Okay, this is
way too many special about it.
That's what they are telling me. Now, here is what I'll say that I also forgot to include. I think I put it in the Rhaegar section, but there's a moment where Rhaegar is just fucking at the Tower of Joy. He's fucking exhausted by all these dragon dreams that he's getting and all these visions and shit. And then Lyanna, for what this guy says here, is trying to like encourage him to like, we got to keep going. This all has to mean something. The fucking prophecy. And then the red comet serves to like reinvigorate him and to keep going with this whole path they are down. They're going down. So
it's way too many comets. Okay, I can accept that. Okay, when Rhaegar was born, that's far enough back. But now we're talking about a comet when Aegon was conceived, and then another comet when Jon is conceived, which is the same night as when Dany is conceived. So Jon and Dany are the same fucking age. Which everyone knows that George has the 8 to 9 months like difference in age kind of thing. But like we know that-
to answer your question, there is some kind of weird fuck off a type of race between Rhaegar and the Mad King. But yes, they both sleep with their wives on the same night, unknowingly to each other.
Right. But it's just like, that means the implication here is that Jon and Dany are conceived on the same night.
Yes, under the red comet.
Which means no. Like timeline wise, that is just no. No, okay.
So I just want to say this.
Like,
Hold up. I just want to say this to the audience. When I spoke to Preston last night, I was giving him some of the details. The first thing Preston said to me was, "Oh, I think I'm gonna be sick." And you're seeing that here. You're seeing that here.
it's just
Keep
no. Like
going.
we
Keep
know
going.
that Dany was conceived right before Rhaella fled to Dragonstone, the night before. Jaime specifically tells us that. Okay, so that and Rhaegar at that point is dead. Like it's not like you can't. Rhaegar can't be fucking. He's dead. Like it's.
Oh my gosh, there's so many of these red comments. There's too many red. The
Too
red
many,
comment is nothing special.
Maybe it's not the same night.
They
There's
have
just
one.
fucking red comments all over. The Vulcan is fucking just spinning around. Tough is just taking the EEC ship and he's just zooming around the fucking. Oh my god.
Yeah.
By the way, I also think conception. I can't believe we even use the word conception. So in case like conception is different from fertilization, which is different from implantation, which is different from like viability, which is different from like birth, all of these different things. Like conceive is when you have sex. That's not actually when you're fertilized because the sperm can be swimming around in there for a few days. And then you have fertilization and then you have implementation. And
you're insane. You're insane. Click start. You're insane.
I know. Conceiving is
bits of information here regarding her, and it's mostly about her political ideas and how she pushes that onto Rhaegar. Apparently, she wants him to join the war and win it so they can secure a future for their child, but also so that he can become king and abolish the monarchy so that the great houses of Westeros would be united by being divided. That's the wording people said to me. Basically, she wants to allow every region to self-govern as independent kingdoms, kind of like how before the conquest, and she pushes this onto Rhaegar. Some people have also told me she asks Rhaegar to spare Ned and Robert, while others told me they didn't hear that part, but ultimately her story ends the way we know it ends, with one exception. Unlike in the television show, she doesn't name Jon as Aegon, but asks Ned to keep the truth from him so that he may forge his own path in life and not be burdened by prophecy or bloodline. She feels very guilty in the end that all of this death and destruction came about because of her choices, and asks to see Winterfell one last time before she passes in the Tower of Joy. Both Ned and Howland Reed witness all of this.
So uniting by dividing, you hint at this, Carmine, that what a clumsy, dumb kind of concept. Like if you're gonna have something like that, you better explain it better than that. Especially if it's supposed to like how is the realm stronger by being divided? Like explain it to me. You know.
It sounds like they're just gonna fight a whole bunch of wars. You know, like the realm was not a more peaceful place before the conquest. Like it might have been arguably more violent because you have all these kingdoms feuding with each other as opposed to like a Pax Romana from within, right? Like, is that the idea? Isn't that the
like we'll be stronger if we're more of a confederacy, you know? But how against White Walkers? Like, what are we doing? Don't we have a? Isn't the night? Isn't the long night coming? How is?
Have a United Kingdom makes roads, you know, like they have a good road system, you know, that's good. That's a plus right there. You wouldn't have that without a United Kingdom.
Yeah, that's really weird, clumsy. And also the I was making the joke that there's it's like a lot of the lines people were telling me were very begun these Clone Wars have kind of thing where like it's you're doing checklists to get to a point. It's you're doing the prequel thing of being like, I've got to do a checklist of stuff to get to the point where we start the stuff, you know, like, you know, we're going to end Rogue One with Leia getting those plans and being like, oh, this is hope, or whatever, and you're like, oh, really, a new hope, like whatever. Begun these Clone Wars have. Oh, really? This is the start of the Clone Wars because we know, like, he's going to be named John. Like, it means nothing. Like, as a story by itself, that means nothing, especially when John Aaron and John Con aren't in the fucking story. If John Aaron were in the story and there was a touching tribute to John as like, he's my real father or something, or he's, and then he names him John at the end, that's just like nice. But you're just, if you like, it's relying on people to knowing the story that comes later.
What's funny is I asked the guy Nathan. He said John Aaron is mentioned quite often, but not shown. So John Con is not mentioned at all.
Right, but is there an emotional stake? Does Ned like say anything really important about his relationship to John Aaron that makes naming John significant?
That is not something any of the people who I spoke to said anything about. So,
like, we all know it's John. We don't need to have him standing on stage being like, and I'm naming this baby John. Yeah, we fucking know it's John. Like, who fucking cares?
You're gonna hate the final scene. Then I won't spoil it for you, but
I mean, it's as lame as Revenge of the Sith when she's like, Luke, Leia. Like, we know it's fucking Luke and Leia. You don't need to fucking say Luke and Leia, except that you're winking at the fucking camera and hoping that a fanboy is going, oh my god, they said Luke. You're like, that's the only thing you're fucking doing. There's no plot significance to someone saying the name other than
Trey,
some sort of weird fan service.
Trey, I keep thinking about that tweet you sent me from that one YouTuber where he was like, this is the greatest play I've ever seen.
It's the greatest play. It's like, dude, this is probably like how many plays have you seen, right? Like I'm sure that's probably true.
But people were saying in my server how like this is very George. Lyanna wants to forge her own path, and
yeah,
then, of course,
that's very
she
falls
down.
Fever dream. Like...
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I think I mentioned in the Rhaegar section. We're not there yet. Where it's one of the George's books, but not wanting that for John. She doesn't want John to like know about his bloodline or about the fact that both of his parents have magical powers, ridiculous magical powers, which we'll get to in Rhaegar. But yeah, she wants John to forge his own path. Some people were saying that's very George.
Yeah, that's like the themes of Fever Dream, right? Like it's like we have choice, and that's like the ending of Game of Thrones, right? You have to choose. So
this is not your choice. It's not your choice.
Unite by dividing the realm sounds like this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It sounds so dumb.
Look, from a 14-year-old girl. Yeah, Rhaegar. Yeah, go do that.
It's just everything. It's just like, we're literally having a story of like a 14, 15-year-old girl being like, I've got to fuck you under a bleeding star. And no one's going to mention the fact that she's like 14, 15 years old. Like, this is just like nice whitewashing of everything wrong with like this whole fucking disgusting tale. Like, this is a big fucking gross tale. Okay. And it's just like being played so whitewashed and straight. Like,
of joy. Both Ned and Howland Reed witness all of this. Next up is Elia Martell, who is not some damsel in distress, but a politically savvy and focused person. Her marriage to Rhaegar is strictly political and cordial, never a loving one, and she's quite open about it. Her real lover is Ashara Dane, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay, fanfic, called it again. So,
one thing I forgot to mention, and I didn't think it was that important to mention, but someone did, and this is the feeling they got. Someone else didn't get this feeling. When Rhaegar dies at the Trident, and she is alerted to that, it looks as if she doesn't really care that much and asks about her uncle Lewin instead. So I don't know if like at that point she's fed up with Rhaegar or it's just she doesn't care about him, but that's what the other person conveyed to me. But yeah, Elia, her own person.
So we we've brought this up before, but like there's literally no character in Ice and Fire who is cool with infidelity. Like even if you're a political marriage, okay, you're not cool with it. Like political marriages are still marriages. There's still degrees of honor, respect, commitment to family alliances. There's a lot built in there, other than like, oh well, it's okay to have these affairs, because we're choosing love. Like this isn't a world where like anyone's ever been allowed to choose romantic like pursuits. Like it's out of fucking nowhere that Elia would be cool with it. It's not actually out of nowhere because I've fucking seen it in like fan like Rhaegar glazing like Reddit posts. That maybe Elia's cool with it because the Dornish are sexually liberated and polygamy is fine and paramours exist and all of that shit. And it's like, no, like you wouldn't do it. Like and the reason is like any competition, like any bastard that somebody has with somebody else is competition with your child for his fucking shit. Like we're still talking about feudalism here, right? Why Kat hates Jon. She specifically fears Jon fighting Robb. Like she specifically fears that in the book, which of course, like, later becomes an issue in Jon's mind too. He really did want Robb's shit. He really did want Winterfell, and he felt guilty about it. So like Elia being cool with Rhaegar's infidelity is dumb. It's fucking dumb. Just because she's, hooking up with Ashara Dane means nothing. It means nothing. Not to mention, like, historically, lesbian relationships just were not even considered. Like, those don't even count. Like, they don't, like, in the Bible, they're not mentioned at all. Like, they just don't even think about them. Like, they're just like, if women are having romantic relationships, they just don't, like, no one knows or no one cares. Like, they're just not mentioned historically. They're not considered in a historical sense, like real, like, like real fucking around. While like Rhaegar fucking Lyanna, that's a threat. It's a fucking threat. No character in Ice and Fire is cool with infidelity. The fact that like I've seen fans debate it and say like, oh, maybe Elia was cool with it because they wanted Rhaegar to be perfect and they want Jon to be perfect and they want everyone to get behind Jon in the fucking glorious battle. The Dornish would totally support him. And all that glazing, like they must have taken it from a glaze post is what I'm getting at. Because it's such a dumb fucking idea that Elia would be cool with infidelity.
Elia is mostly focused on elevating House Martell and pushing Rhaegar to start a coup against his father. It's not exactly her idea, not really, but she and Rhaegar are co-conspirators in this. At the tourney at Harrenhal, pause it there. So, I do have information for you that I did not include in the video. Basically, okay. Rhaegar, along with Lord Went and Elia, basically they organized the tournament at Harrenhal as a front to assemble the Great Lords of Westeros and force the Mad King to abdicate. Now, I don't know how many of them really are there in the play because is Rickard even there? I don't even know. But that was their plan, is basically to try and have this united front, not only between Rhaegar and Elia, but also I guess the other lords were going to come in on it and basically show Aerys like, yeah, just abdicate. It's over. We're all against you here. So
my problem with the united front thing is you'd already assume that the Dornish would be with Rhaegar. You don't need to prove united front by handing
united
a
front
crown
with the other High Lords of Westeros, basically. Oh, and the other
but
thing.
Why give the crown to Elia then?
They weren't going to do that.
Weren't you saying later on that like giving the crown to Elia is showing this united front, and that when he doesn't do that,
giving the crown of loving beauty. Yeah. It's that's apparently it's what it is, to show that like they are together, united as a royal couple. That like,
but they're always that. Like that's
they always assume
default.
that by being married.
Look, that's what it is. That's what they tell me.
Like I understand that like it should have been nothing. No one should have even been thinking about the crown, and then the Lyanna thing introduces the idea of a Dornish Rhaegar split, but the default should have been that they were together.
Yeah, because they're married.
There shouldn't be a plan like, okay, Rhaegar, give the crown to your wife. Yeah, of course he's going to fucking give the crown to their wife. That should be a default.
So the other thing about the Tournament of Harrenhal that also didn't put in the video is that Rhaegar embezzles funds to have the whole thing funded.
Yeah, I mean that's all been theorized, like the story about like that he was bribing people or something with the chests of gold and stuff like that with Elia. But embezzling, you're saying embezzling funds from the crown.
Yes.
Passing him. Yeah, that's all. These guys were definitely reading Reddit posts. These guys are definitely reading Reddit boards.
and apparently watching your fanfic.
Maybe. I mean, I won't be so arrogant to say that they read the fanfic, but it's a little weird that like those two things are in there. It's a little weird.
I always make fun of Trey. I always make fun of Preston that like he probably, because he never checks his shit, he probably has like the season 8 premiere invitation in his inbox still that he hasn't seen. I wonder if people behind the scenes of the fucking stage play have contacted you and you just haven't checked your email.
Yeah, we need Preston on this case.
I mean, I don't see how Elia would, like, why Elia is particularly motivated to overthrow Aerys, considering that like her child Aegon would be king eventually anyway, as the eldest Targaryen male of Rhaegar. Primogenitor should lead. Like, why are the Dornish trying to rock the boat here? But
her original strategy is for Rhaegar to win and crown her the Queen of Love and Beauty to project a united royal front for the upcoming coup.
Yeah, like why would you need to project a united royal front between the house that fucking Rhaegar is married into? I mean, imagine at like the start of the War of the Five Kings, if people are like, we gotta project the Stark Tully alliance. like what are you fucking like? You guys are fucking married. You have children together. Like, of course there's a fucking Stark Tully alliance. Like, project.
That's the whole
when
point
Rhaegar chooses
the marriage.
Chooses love over duty by crowning Lyanna, she storms out in anger. Not because Rhaegar is embarrassing her, his wife, but because he's fucking up their plans to present a united front against Aerys, the man.
Elia is the mastermind to take her heir to the throne and make him heir to the throne.
They should have added something like her wanting to institute Dornish law. Or something like that.
Something. Right? Like, what is she getting more?
It's just she's getting sooner that Rhaegar is going to be king. Like, that's it.
That's it.
But then they're going to weaken the Seven Kingdoms by dividing them. Or is that a separate plan? That's Lyanna's plan.
That's Lyanna's plan. Separate plan.
Okay.
Like Rhaegar seems to want to do the coup because he thinks his father is mad and is a fuck up. But if you're going from like purely Elia self-gain motivation, she's not fucking gaining anything. Like, unless she kills Rhaegar too, her son is going to be king at the exact same time he's going to become king, whether Aerys is alive or not. Like,
I think it might go it's personal reasons, because later I'm not spoiling anything, but later there's like a Rhaegar Elia a rivalry, like they hate each other. So she just like wants to get rid of him just to get rid of him. I guess she doesn't like the Ares.
I guess because
That's
Ares is supposedly against like racist against Dornish people, right?
Yeah, and in the play
But-
he apparently is too.
But
But like,
when did he say the smells Dornish? Isn't there a smells?
He says it in the play too, in regards to Elia. He says it to Rhaegar.
It might be
He-
from
like,
it might be from. Is it from the word? He muttered the newborn granddaughter Ares smelled Dornish. Which I never really understood it because like, I mean, Ares is mad, so you're not supposed to necessarily like look at his actions as being logical, but like, he's fucking over Tywin by not marrying Rhaegar to Cersei for Elia, but then doesn't actually like Elia. So what the fuck is he doing? Like, I don't know. I don't know what Ares is doing. Like in the book continuity, like, what is he doing? I guess he's just crazy, so you don't have to worry about it. Like he hates Tywin so much that he'd rather have the Dornish, but he still hates the Dornish.
King. At various points throughout the story, she is not a fan of the dreaming and prophecy stuff Rhaegar keeps talking about, and tries to get him to focus on removing his father from the throne. Her story gets a bit more interesting because when Rhaegar and Lyanna run off, the Mad King has her imprisoned in chains, and at some point, Varys tries to interrogate her for information, but she outsmarts him. But basically, she accepts the relationship between Lyanna and Rhaegar, and even proposes an Aegon the Conqueror-style arrangement, where Rhaegar takes 2 wives, one for politics, Elia, and one for love, Lyanna. She's
Why would she weaken? Why would
I gotta
she
hop
weaken
off
her-
real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay, but why would she weaken her son's position there?
So one thing that confused me, based off what people were telling me, and I want to clear this up here, because at one point Elia is in the dungeon, and then she's not in the dungeon. So I asked this person here, Nathan, and this is what he's told me. She's in the dungeon for a time. Interesting. I'm sure she remains on stage, but unlit during her entire imprisonment. Varys brings her food and information. Elia asks Varys for counsel with Rhaela, that if she doesn't get it, she'll refuse to eat until she starves to death, and that will gain the anger of Dorne. When Elia is brought to Rhaela with the Chardane, the queen is initially disinterested in Elia in her attempts to become her lady-in-waiting. Aerys sees the red comet and tells his Kingsguard to bring Rhaela to him, yada, yada, yada. So at first, she is imprisoned in the dungeons and then removed from there. So I want to make that clear in case it gets confusing later.
Well, you said disinterested in being lady of waiting or uninterested?
Disinterested in being lady-in-waiting.
So disinterested means neutral. Do you mean uninterested?
Bro, I'm literally reading what these guys tell me.
Okay, I mean, I understand. It just it's confusing when people use words.
Listen. If I was writing this, if this was me, this would be massively different.
I know.
this.
I'm sorry. Sorry. This is a point where it's like I really want to understand something, and then like there's like a grammatical somebody used disinterested instead of uninterested, and I'm like, wait, do they mean disinterested or do they mean
This
uninterested?
fucking guy, man.
It's important to understand
Click
something.
the play button. Just click the play button.
No. First, like, wait, did you say that Elia and Lyanna are like pen pals?
Yes,
Yeah, that comes
this
up later.
This is after she's let out of the dungeon.
She gets out and she's like, I now, even though I'm against prophecy, I now want to pen pal a little girl who's fucking my husband, who's into prophecy, even though I'm not into prophecy.
So it's mostly, let me also correct this.
Want to weaken my son's position by having polygamy and now non-bastard children that can usurp my children. Okay.
Let me correct this right here because I didn't put this in the video. Elia is very, very savvy and a little manipulative, and it doesn't really...
Savvy? It sounds like she's a fucking idiot. What are you talking about?
To continue what I was saying, it doesn't sound, based off what people told me, it doesn't sound like Elia is like super cool with Lyanna, but she's trying to use Lyanna to get her to push Rhaegar to do the fucking plan and overthrow Aerys. Because at one point when they're writing back and forth, Elia is literally telling Lyanna, hey, yeah, Rhaegar's with you? Cool. I need you to get him to get rid of this fucking guy. So,
I mean, if she's trying to use Rhaegar to use Lyanna to pull in the Northern Alliance for her plan, okay, that vaguely makes sense if I had a proper motivation for Elia. Like, what is she fucking getting out of this?
Dornish supremacy, from what I was told, she wants to put Dorne in a better position than they are now.
They're in a pretty good position.
They're in line to the throne. Like, I don't know what more they could possibly want.
But they could be in a better position, I guess.
Like, that's why they needed Dornish law. Bring up Dornish law.
If they brought up Dornish law, just anything. Oh, or maybe like then I'll be queen and then I can control the seven kingdoms. Like anything.
Like, it sounds like she just hates Aerys, and that's it. She's like, I want Aerys out of the way.
I hate Aerys so much
sooner than later.
That I want my husband to fuck little girls and
there
produce children that can usurp my own children.
There was a post going around saying that like Elia is like the Ghislaine Maxwell of Westeros now because of this
God. They made her into fucking Ghislaine Maxwell. Oh no.
Trey, have you seen the post of people saying the Mountain was a hero? We just didn't know it yet. Have you seen those?
Yeah, I've seen this. The Targaryens were.
Well,
that's so fucking.
That's. Obviously, the Mountain does a lot of other fucking stuff, but
of course.
He's
completely and utterly okay with that arrangement and makes it clear to Lyanna when they become pen pals, during which Elia also actively tries to get Lyanna to push Rhaegar into taking decisive actions against Aerys. But ultimately, her story ends the same way it does, the way we know it does. Next up, we have Ashara Dane, who is not just a cameo, but a pretty strong figure in the story of Elia. She is very much sexually liberated, even touting that she loves both men and women and enjoys threesomes. Throughout the play, she flirts with a lot of our characters, of course Brandon and Ned, but also Barristan, who regrets rejecting her at a previous tourney.
This is, I mean, directly contradicts, like, Barristan's POV. Like, Barristan's POV makes it very clear that, like, he watches her from afar. She would have no clue that he's into her and that he loves her and that he like barely spoke. Like the idea that like she nearly fucked Barristan at one point is ridiculous. Like that's just like ridiculous.
Like the whole point is that Barristan's a creep. Like he's a creep. Like he's like a weird incel creep that is also significantly older than Ashara.
Significantly older, right? Because again, he's like. You
want to know what's funny about what you just said, Trey? One of the people I was speaking to, she said she didn't think Barristan was a creep. She specifically used the word creep because other people were using it. So she said to me,
in the book or show, in the
play, she didn't think Barristan was a creep in the play.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
He's like how old is Barristan at this point? He's like probably like 50 or something, and he's hitting on a teenager.
At Harrenhal, he's 44 in 81. Yeah.
Dude, and Ashara is like 15 or something like that, right? Yeah. She's like around the age of Ned. Dude, Barristan, you're a creep, dude. Like not a.
I don't think the person who told me that. I don't think they know the age, because on stage, everyone is an adult.
Everybody's the same age, right? Yeah.
It's fucking this fucking show, man. This fucking show.
Barristan wants to win the Harrenhal one so he can crown her the Queen of Love and Beauty, and is willing to break his vows to be with her. But Ashara's true love is actually Elia, and they are very much into each other. But after Rhaegar and Lyanna run off, and Aerys...
I don't know if Barristan was actually like willing to break his vows, but that's
puts Elia in chains in the Red Keep, Ashara chooses to remain by Elia's side to help care for her children, Rhaenys and Aegon. While she's in the Red Keep, she has a miscarriage, the father being Brandon, and when she does, the Mad King's wife, Rhaella, insults her for being sad at the death of a Stark bastard. So, of course, Ashara, angry as all hell, lunges at her and has to be physically held back by Elia. But right after this, the Kingsguard arrive to drag Rhaella to the Mad King's bedchamber.
So they don't just execute Ashara right there for trying to attack a royal?
No. By the way, Ashara being in the Red Keep is actually quite important. I initially thought that maybe Varys would have told Ned about the Tower of Joy. It's actually Ashara. Ashara Dane is the one who tells Ned about the Tower of Joy and where he could find Lyanna. So she's in the Red Keep during the ending days of the rebellion when Tywin comes through.
There's no Starfall, though.
No, not from what I heard. In fact, I know that Ned is supposed to go to Starfall right after Tower of Joy. I don't think he does that here. And people were specifically asking me, but well, what about Dawn? Does he take Dawn with him to give to her? I couldn't get an answer on that.
They just cut the mystery box of Starfall completely.
Mm-hmm. And one person said to me that Ned orders Dawn return to House Dane, but he doesn't actually go to Starfall.
Okay. And people are wondering if this is canon. This is he literally doesn't fucking go to the biggest mystery box of the fucking story, Starfall.
Rhaella, she is an asshole, but of course, she's traumatized. When we get to Mad King and Rhaella, I'll go into one more detail that I forgot to put in my main video, but it's about Summerhall and how that is actually kind of haunting quite a few people. So he can assault her.
Okay.
Ashara actually puts her anger aside and joins Elia and Jaime Lannister in attempting to defend the Queen. I'll go into more detail on Jaime and Rhaella later, but for Ashara, the most important piece of the story here, I think, is that she is the one who points Ned to the Tower of Joy.
So there's a scene where Aerys is attacking Rhaella, and Jaime, Ashara, and Elia all try to protect Rhaella.
No, that's not what I said there. The Kingsguard. No, the Kingsguard comes to grab. So what happens is in order here is that Elia is initially imprisoned, and she tells Varys, "Look, either you get me an audience with the Queen, or I'm going to starve myself to death, and it's going to piss off Dorne." So she goes up to meet with Rhaella, and Ashara is with her. And while they're there talking, the Kingsguard come to Rhaella and they're like, "Look, we got to take you to the Mad King's chambers. He wants to fuck." And at first, Elia, Ashara, and even Jaime try to stop them, but it's of no use. Rhaella goes willingly. We'll get into that and what she does there later on in the video.
We specifically have a scene of Jaime's memory where the events are completely different. But he's standing outside of the door with Jonathan Darry, and he's like, "Are we supposed to do something? I thought we're supposed to protect her." And Jonathan Darry says, "Yes, but not from her, but not from him." That are we supposed to believe that after Jaime tries to stop them from taking her, he then follows the Kingsguard, and then they let him hang out in front of the door there after he just tried to stop them?
I guess this is for dramatic effect.
This didn't happen. This didn't happen. This is a play-only continuity, right?
Like at one point, Jaime is pelted by cabbages. What's more fucking play than that?
I can
it's more
accept
theater
being
than that.
pelted by cabbages, but when it's when there's an actual fucking scene in the book, look, it's like George asked you guys to make a play about Harrenhal. You ran out of fucking ideas for Harrenhal. So you decided to start expanding it to other fucking things, but then you have actual scenes that happened and you're rewriting them and changing them. That's not what happened. You could have put any fucking scene on stage, but now you're taking a scene that we actually have in Jaime's memory And then you're just
we're
well,
gonna get
actually,
it's gonna be like a gospel situation where they're like both these things simultaneously happen. They're two different incidents. Like the Jesus with the fisherman is the same as remember this? Like, right? They're like
we're gonna have
combining
apologists
gospels.
trying to mesh the stories together, like the two Genesis stories, how they don't fit, but people like make arguments that they do. Like, you know, like
we're watching it happen.
Apparently, Arthur Dayne had been writing to her about the situation, and when she and Ned eventually meet again, she points him in that direction. Her story plays out exactly as we know it does with her suicide, though it's not shown.
Why does Ashara know where the Tower of Joy is?
Arthur Dayne and her are writing back to each other.
He says, "Dearest sister, I have been standing guard while a man fucks a little girl at the Tower of Joy. Your brother, Arthur. Under a red star." Funny you say that. There was a red star here too. Like,
now let's talk about our Targaryens, starting with Rhaegar, who I think is probably one of the most interesting characters here. To start, Rhaegar is introduced singing the literal song of Ice and Fire in High Valyrian, a performance that, of course, moves Lyanna to tears. He's the central conspirator attempting to depose...
Because she knows High Valyrian. What?
I mean...
Yes.
It's what everybody loves to tell us. Depose his father, and has the support of his two friends, Arthur Dayne and Sir Oswell Went, who may have been combined with Jon Con, based off the hints that Went might be into Rhaegar. But the tourney at Harrenhal also serves another purpose for him, not only to advance the idea of a united front with Aelia, by crowning her Queen of Love and Beauty.
Doesn't Bran not know what the Song of Ice and Fire is?
Yes.
But now it's like a famous song.
Like specifically...
Real quick, there's another thing I also forgot to add in the video. So I think someone said to me that Rhaegar has some type of trauma or something related to Summerhall. I know the Mad King does, and I know Rhaella does. But at one point, Rhaegar and Robert have a scene together where Rhaegar is trying to cheer him up, and they have like a bonding type of moment with traumas.
And he's like, "Funny that you saw your parents die. I was a baby and don't remember anything." Like, what? Like, what are you fucking like?
But
what's your fucking drama?
He has the dragon dreams, so I'm sure he's probably seen something.
Funny that you saw your parents die. I'm riddled by dragon dreams. Is that it?
I don't know.
It's funny that your parents died. I have a rash.
What trauma? What trauma can Rhaegar talk about? Like his dad being mean?
I wish my dad were dead. Your dad is dead. Like,
I hate this like Rhaegar like kissing up. Like, it sucks. This sucks.
People who watch the play are fucking. People who watch the play are so upset with me because I'm probably butchering some of this, but for the most part, this is pretty much.
Look, like at this point, like it's just so fucking pedophile glazing. I don't understand like how it cannot even come up that these are like little girls. These are little girls. Like George is like. And you can't, and also you can't pull out the argument. Well, it's historic times. Like George is aware of like the fact that like these are little girls being exploited. It's a huge part of the Dany story and the Sansa story. And it's mentioned by Arianne when she talks about Elia Sand. Like George is aware of this shit. You know, this is not a romantic time where, you know, that's so great.
Do you think that's probably why he doesn't want to write like his own book? Because I remember there was a So Spake Martin where he said he wanted to cover what actually happened at Harrenhal at some point. Do you think like later on he realized, ooh, this is a little awkward?
I think it makes it very difficult. I don't know if he like actively decided not to do it, but I think it would make it rather difficult.
I'll let these play guys handle it. Yeah, they'll handle it.
They'll handle it.
But also to gather the great houses together. Though whether or not he wants to gather them to see the United Front or to try and make some alliance with them wasn't clear when it was told to me, but we do know that Rhaegar does have the backing of some of the other houses. If anything, his relationship with Aerys is a big highlight. At one point, Rhaegar confronts his father, who then tries to test Rhaegar into killing him. Of course, Rhaegar doesn't and gets called a coward for it. In fact, Aerys at one point tells him that. So there is a scene where Rhaegar is actually trying to be very tender with his father. Aerys shows up very fucking disheveled, and they have like these long acrylic nails on him. And Rhaegar is like at one point trying to make his dad more presentable to everybody by, I guess, clipping his nails, or in the play's case, removing the acrylic nails and brushing his hair, and trying to be somewhat of a loving son. But in this moment here, Aerys knows about the fucking conspiracy. Like Aerys absolutely knows, and he at one point even goes, yeah, here's my neck, go ahead, kill me. And of course Rhaegar doesn't, and yeah, so
okay.
That the prince that was promised won't come from him, it has to be a third child. But I got conflicting accounts on this. One person said that Aerys doesn't care about prophecy, but then he goes ahead and summons Rhaella to his bed during the night of the Red Comet to conceive the prince that was promised, which turned out to be Dany, but we'll get to that later. The biggest reveal, I think, here is that Rhaegar and Lyanna can communicate with each other through dreams.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness Helena Damon didn't come from nowhere, man. Thank goodness.
So is this like someone was telling me this is like a kind of like a song for Leah type of thing? Do you guys know what that,
does she tell Rhaegar to join the Grishka with her? That she's... I mean, it is true that Lyanna does come to Robb, and through a dream, a telepathic connection, and wants Robb to join the Grishka. What? So here, Lyanna who comes to whom? Do you know?
No, it's not clear.
They communicate through dreams. Great. Okay.
That's so silly. Like it's like a telephone. Like it's literally just they're using it like telephone.
Is the moon out? Are they both in their wolves?
Is the moon involved?
One of the reasons why Rhaegar falls for Lyanna. I don't know where chronologically this would be.
Because she's 14. Is that the reason?
Yes, sure. But also he sees a vision of Daenerys, and I think dragons around her, but the Daenerys. And then Daenerys disappears, and it's Lyanna there instead. So I guess that's one of the things that gets him interested in her. But the fact that they can both
wants
have
to
this
fuck
power,
his sister because he's a Targaryen.
I don't think he knows it's his sister. But the fact that they both have this power is like something of a highlight for him when it comes to this girl.
Isn't this literally? This is literally fucking Daemon's dream from House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
Look, man. Maybe the writers of the play are big fans.
Right? Like Daemon was communicating with Helena, and then he saw Daenerys, or I guess it's the reverse. He saw Daenerys, and then he communicated to Helena. They at least switched it around. Was she in the desert with like three dragon eggs? Yeah.
I don't know. Can you put a desert on that fucking small ass stage?
Yeah, I was wondering how they communicate that. Is there like a JPEG file or something projected on the wall? Like how do they do this?
I can actually answer one of this.
Is it with a puppet? Is there a puppet involved?
Is there a puppet?
Yes,
is there a
actually,
puppet desert? The puppet red waste comes out. And a puppet
so keep press play, and I'll tell you when it happens. And that is how they sneak out of Winterfell. They form that plan with Benjen's help, of course. But over time, as they stay at the Tower of Joy and the rebellion is in full swing, he gets exhausted from all the dragon dreams he keeps having and the prophecy stuff. But Lyanna urges him to go out there and fight and make their dream a reality, and he does. And when you get to the Trident, he fights Robert, just like in the story. But here we see that he offers Robert several times a chance to yield, to which Robert does not. And while he's fighting, for whatever reason, right in the middle of that fight, he gets a vision of a giant dragon engulfing him, and while distracted, he is struck down by Robert.
How much do you need to fucking glaze like Rhaegar? No one.
He was that good. He was that good.
So okay, let me explain.
Like Rhaegar from the beginning in the books is described as bookish, reluctantly went into training, was specifically said not to be great in the tourneys, and essentially won Harrenhal by a fluke, which makes people think there's a conspiracy with regards to like fixing the tourney. Okay. He's specifically said to be not that great of a fighter. Meanwhile, Robert is described as one of the greatest fucking fighters in history. Okay, who won 3 battles in one day, who fucking would win melee after melee, smashing people like in tourneys. Like fucking loved to drink fucking fight and was very good at all 3.
He's like 6'7" in like ripped, right? Like he's like ginormous.
Like there's no need. There's no fucking need to make Rhaegar the better fighter here. He's not. He's not the fucking better fighter.
When Rhaegar is fighting Robert, at one point, I think Rhaegar gets the best of him and has his sword to Robert's neck. And when the vision comes up...
This sucks.
The vision is basically a giant black dragon engulfing him. And they actually have puppets. They have a giant dragon puppet and a small little Rhaegar puppet to show how big the dragon is. We don't know if the dragon is Drogon. We don't know if the dragon is Balerion. We don't know what it means. But this vision distracts him long enough for Robert to fuck him up. Just say it. Just say it. Just tell the audience what you told me. You're gonna be sick. Go ahead, say it.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is just so fucking dumb. Like, this is. I'm trying to think of like, this might be the dumbest thing in the play. Like, trying to think of anything else that could be dumber than
you gotta incorporate Bran, time traveling Bran, distracting Rhaegar just long enough. You gotta get the
Trey, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it for him. Come on, go ahead, continue. Engulfing him, and while distracted, he is struck down by Robert. But the rest of the Targaryens are pretty much as they were in the main story with a few added things. One example is Aerys trying to be an asshole for some reason by giving Robert Baratheon a gift, which happens to be a box full of water with pieces of the ship his parents died in. For those of you who don't know, Robert's parents died at sea when their ship came upon a storm, with everyone on board losing their life. Except Patchface, but he's not in this, neither is Stannis, by the way. But Aerys clearly knows about the coup against him from Rhaegar, and he really hates Elia for it.
By the way, Stephen Baratheon died like 3 years prior to Harrenhal. So I'm like, it's a little late, the gift, but
I guess they haven't seen each other until Harrenhal, so
okay.
He's been holding on to that one for a long time. I'm imagining. It's like this is gonna be worth it. 3 years from now,
it's gonna be great.
Calling her a Dornish mongrel bitch. But there is no Pycelle in there to convince him to open the gates to Tywin. He just has it done because he thinks Tywin is a friend, and of course, his story plays out exactly as we know it. If anything, Rhaella...
You're saying one night the actor for Pycelle was sick, and then the next night he's back?
That's what I was told, that the person who watched it at that day, Pycelle wasn't there. They could have been wrong, or they weren't paying attention. But according to Indie Geek, Robert, I guess Pycelle was there when he watched it, which he watched both days, so maybe the second day. Aerys, it sounds like, is also haunted by Summerhall, and so is Rhaella. Summerhall is actually, and I forgot to put this in my video, but Summerhall is actually kind of a big deal for these characters. A lot of characters have trauma over a lot of this stuff, and prophecy seems to be something that really is what the play should have been called. I know the play is called The Mad King. It really should have been called Prophecy, and it really feels like prophecy is the number one villain here, because everyone is just like driving themselves crazy trying to like navigate it.
I hate this. I hate like having prophecy be like a central part of like the story. Like it sucks. Like
no, prophecy ruins everything.
Oh, it's gonna get worse, and I'm so excited for Preston to just go through this. Preston,
yeah, I think the play should have been called Little St. James.
What the fuck? Why? No, Preston, please save your outrage. Hold up, please save your outrage until you get to the end of this one. Go ahead.
Okay.
Is very interesting. She reminds me of Cersei, but more cold and defiant. She refuses to participate in any of the cruelty that Aerys puts out on Lyanna's brother and father, and even after she taunts Ashara, and in turn Ashara tries to save her from the Kingsguard who come to get her, She openly displays her body covered in deep, bloody scratches from Aerys's long nails, and then she mocks the Kingsguard when they try to turn away. She then tells Ashara to grieve her stillborn child, and all of those that she herself lost during the years. But one very interesting thing here is that before she goes into the Mad King's room, she cries out a curse to the gods, that if she is to conceive a child on this night, let it be not a son, but a vengeful daughter who will bring back dragons and burn the realm to ash.
Begun these Clone Wars have.
So the I guess the implication here is that the prince that was promised might be that's the acolyte, Preston. It might be two people in one. It's Jon and Daenerys, but the difference is that Daenerys has been cursed to ultimately be evil, like in the show, because she was conceived through hatred. But Jon,
that's a really bad
message.
That's a really bad message to
that's what am I, Trey? But am I wrong though? Isn't that what the play is trying to cut? Like
that's what they're
push?
saying. But I think that's a horrible decision. I think that's a bad idea.
Oh, you're buddy. People are trying to fucking make sense of it by saying, well, like, yeah, Dany's last chapter in Dance is basically like her realizing that she needs to be a badass and burn everybody down.
This is also like a very un George R.R. Martin message too, right? That you are a doomed to fate, right? Like that curses, like, right? That like you cannot change your fate. You like that's bad. That sucks. And that's just a bad message in general. Like, yeah, like you're cursed to become Super Hitler. I mean, that's just what happens.
Especially considering the play opens with Lyanna saying that she wants free will, and the story essentially ends with, no, we're just gonna have a bunch of fucking prophecy. Everything is just fucking doomed, and you have no free will. Also, just like, okay, so we have 4 female main characters, 1 14-year-old girl who is DTF, who wants to fuck under a red star, who wants to fuck old men. Another one, lesbian young teenage girl who wants to fuck old men. Has
is having an underage situation as well.
Yeah,
right.
And then another woman who's totally cool with open marriage, lesbian relationship. Yeah, like, and then a woman who just like is totally cool with like showing her naked body off to the Kingsguard defiantly and like throwing around cursing,
cursing her own child to
we even
become Super Hitler?
Are we even in Westeros? Like, are we even in Westeros anymore?
Yes.
Not the best.
Honestly, like, to the people who watch the play, what's more interesting or what's more entertaining? The play
Carmine, this was
crashing out.
This was the best play ever. This was the best play ever.
Will bring back dragons and burn the realm to ash. And of course, they cover the rebellion, and therefore we should probably talk about the man they named it after, Robert Baratheon. Apparently, most of his story is at Harrenhal, with an appearance during the Trident, and then again at the end in the throne room. But basically, he is as you remember him, a heavy drinker obsessed with fighting and fucking. However, the play reframes this as a coping mechanism for severe PTSD, specifically his recurring nightmares about watching his parents die. But during Harrenhal, we saw his bromance with Ned. We get to watch him fight and win against Oberyn. That's, maybe I'm being too kind when I say bromance. Someone described it to me as when Robert like won his fight. I think they said that Ned runs to him and jumps into his arms.
Oh my god, they're doing like the gay Ned thing. That's awesome.
Because Ned gets double cucked, right? Like Ashara Dane is fucking Brandon and Elia, but not Ned. Double cucked Ned.
That's people have been making jokes about Ned and Bobby B being gay together, and this is supporting it in my mind. all that fan art, right, Carmine, that it would send you.
Yes. Sorry. I was
wait,
typing back to somebody.
say that again. Say that again. Like he runs into his arms. They have like an embrace, a beautiful yaoi embrace. Them two.
I guess so. One person, maybe they were exaggerating, describes it as like Ned jumps into his arms and like puts his arms and legs around Robert's. Another person said they didn't see that part. By the way, I want someone to make this very clear to people who keep like, I'm sure it's probably annoying someone because I keep saying like this person didn't see that. If you saw what the stage looks like, it's from different angles. So of course people are going to miss certain things.
Right.
Yeah,
it's this literal like cross. So like,
right.
You know, if you're over here, you're not necessarily seeing what's over there and all that.
Yeah. No, I'm just looking at Ned Stark, Robert Baratheon fan art. There's so much. Oh my god. This happens in the play. Oh gosh.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Honestly, at least they got the height correct. Like at least they got the height correct.
There is so much of it.
Martell and the Mountain, who, by the way, is a giant puppet on stage. It's supposed to be really cool. And then his relationship with Lyanna, as I mentioned before, is explored a bit. He's very much into her, and she is very caring and tender with him. But his story plays out mostly how you know it from there. He defeats Rhaegar at the Trident and has a falling out with Ned at the very end. And of course, we can't have the Mad King without the man who killed him. Let's talk about Jaime and, in part, the Lannisters. Based off what I've been told, Jaime's there, but as kind of a bystander and with very few things to do until the very end. Every time he does do something, it is very much awesome. Of course, he shows up at Harrenhal briefly to be inducted into the Kingsguard, and then dismissed back to King's Landing. Then he appears again to try and stop his sworn brothers from forcibly taking Rhaella to the Mad King's bedroom, and then again at the very end when he urges Aerys not to open the gates to Tywin, who then ignores him and has it opened anyway, and then Tywin sacks the city, and of course Jaime kills him. There are two additions here that I thought were really interesting. One specifically that I really liked, and that is Tywin showing up, seeing the Mad King's body, and then ripping Jaime's white cloak off of him and using it to cover the body. That I really liked. And the other was Jaime.
Yeah.
This is something I just learned. When Tywin takes Jaime's white cloak, rips it right off him and puts it over the Mad King's body, there's a moment where Tywin puts his hand on the body as if like he's mourning his friend, and then it's only a couple of seconds, and then he immediately stops.
Isn't Ned the first one to make it to the throne room?
Yes, that is still in there. Ned and Robert both arrive at the same time, and so do Tywin and Cersei on the other side of the stage.
Oh, okay. Because it's just I wouldn't want like the iconic scene of him sitting on the throne and then Ned coming in.
Still happens.
Okay.
I saw someone was giving.
And then Ned goes to the bathroom, and the Tywin comes in.
Someone was giving props to the Mad King actor because he was on the steps playing dead for 20 minutes straight. So,
oh my god,
props to that. Yeah. Being rejected and shunned by the people of the city for being a kingslayer and a traitor. They pelt him with cabbages, and he has a breakdown until Cersei arrives to urge him to stay a member of the Kingsguard and to be with her so that their children can sit the Iron Throne, much to his horror. But Tywin is the first to kneel down to Robert.
Much to his horror.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck? That's how it was described to me. He was like, what the fuck? What? But she is convincing him the entire time. In fact, Cersei actually lifts him up quite a bit. She calls him a hero. He wants to join the Night's Watch. But she's like, no. You can't do that. You're a hero. Our children will sit on the Iron Throne.
I mean, has anyone ever read a Jaime? Have they read a Jaime chapter? Like Jaime, Jaime's a dick, and he was totally into having children with Cersei and having him on the throne. He specifically wants to marry Joffrey to Myrcella. like in the books. Like him being horrified at the idea of like having his children on the throne. No, like especially not at this point. Why would he be against that? That would be his dream. It'd be dream to have children with Cersei and have the man on the throne. That's exactly what he wants. And why would he ever want to join the Night's Watch when there's no fucking Cersei there? Like, okay. Motivation 1 for Jaime to be with Cersei. That is motivation 1. Motivation 2, everything fucking else, especially at this point. Join the fucking Night's Watch. What are they fucking taught? What books have they been reading? What? Did they watch Game of Thrones and they were, like just like seasons like 7 or something? But even Game of Thrones didn't do that. I don't understand this. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Really weird. Like he's obsessed with Cersei.
Robert, and is the first to declare him king. He also offers Cersei as a bride, just like in the story, and she enters the stage. But Robert doesn't really care about that. He's more focused on Lyanna and orders Ned to go and bring her back. And last, let's discuss the Starks, specifically Ned and Benjen. The long-standing rumor that Ned fathered Ashara Dane's child is proven to be false. Brandon Stark was actually the father of Ashara's stillborn daughter. While Ned and Ashara do dance at Harrenhal, there is no secret romantic relationship between them, despite her flirting with him. Benjen is there, and he is mostly the little brother who is babied by Lyanna and helps her escape Winterfell to run off with Rhaegar. He has guilt over this in the end, and it's heavily implied this is why he joins the Night's Watch. But Ned's story plays out exactly as it does. He participates in the rebellion, goes to...
What do you mean, like...
Well, yeah, what does he feel guilt? He feels guilt for her dying?
He feels guilt that he helped her escape, and her escaping with Rhaegar caused a chain of events that led to the deaths of a lot of people.
So okay. Lyanna is kidnapped in the Riverlands.
No, the play has it
they're
that
saying
Lyanna,
it's in Winterfell.
The play has it that
Rhaegar gets a jetpack, flies to fucking Winterfell,
you're
kidnaps her from Winterfell, and then brings her fucking down to Dorne. So the play takes.
I don't know if it's.
This is over how many years is this event? Like what is going on?
I don't know if it's Winterfell or maybe Harrenhal or whatever else, but wherever it is, Benjen helps them escape or helps them leave together, and he has some guilt over this.
Why would Benjen be in the same place? Why would Benjen be in the Riverlands?
I would imagine he's there if it's at Harrenhal, then
Harrenhal takes place years before.
Okay. Here, in the lore, it says the next year. So a year after the Harrenhal tourney, or next year, I guess the end of the year, Lyanna came face to face with Rhaegar 10 leagues from Harrenhal, and then she was taken with him with the help of Dane and Went. Yeah, why is Benjen there?
Like fans speculate.
It was not like a castle or
why
anything.
Lyanna is down there. They're thinking maybe Lyanna went on a trip to see Robert or something, or was on her way to see Robert to get married. There's a lot of theories on like why Lyanna was in the Riverlands. I mean, this is paralleled in A Dance with Dragons because there's the girl escaping on the horse. The wayward bride is escaping on the horse, and there's a lake next to her. And, it ends up being Alice Karstark, but like it's a parallel to Lyanna being on a horse, escaping and being next to the God's Eye. But why is Benjen there?
For dramatic effect for the play.
To try to checklist fan theory on why Benjen joined the Night's Watch?
Oh, keep going. Well, you're not even at the bullshit part yet. Keep going. King's Landing finds out the location of the Tower of Joy, and he fights the Kingsguard there with Howland Reed. It plays out exactly like it does in the TV show. Howland gets injured at the very start of the fight, stays down, and when it's a 1v1 with Arthur and Ned, Howland gets
throws a frog at him. What did you say like years ago?
Right back up, stabs him in the back with Ned finishing him off. And also, just like in the TV show, while Ned is at the Tower of Joy, he hears Bran's voice calling to him.
So that, I mean, Bran's voice calling to him, that makes it like they're in show continuity.
I don't know.
You're trying to tell me that Bran is gonna view the Tower of Joy from his tree, even though
maybe
he hasn't yet. There's a werewood at the fucking Tower of Joy that he can like look at.
Man, listen, you tell me.
We're in show continuity here. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know where we are.
I told you privately, and I'll say this to you. I'll say this to the audience now. I didn't say this in my video because that's not really relevant. HBO was very anal about the gift shop selling official Game of Thrones merchandise. So HBO just wouldn't give them permission. So I don't know if HBO wants anything to do with this at all or not, but there it is. This is the second time he hears Bran's voice. People have told me the first was when he's talking about having a family. But his story plays out exactly as I mentioned before. He watches Lyanna die and takes baby Jon back to Winterfell. Again, Jon is not named until Ned goes right back there. There's a brief scene before all of this where Ned and Catelyn marry, but the final scene of the play is Ned naming baby Jon, though it's kind of weird that he does because Jon Arryn isn't in
begun these Clone Wars have
the play at all, but it's implied Jon is named so after him. Also, Benjen is there, and it's implied he knows who the parents are, which I kind of like. But guys, that is the play and all the bits of detail I could get. Of course, I'm probably missing a few minor things, but for the most part, those are the major pieces of lore.
Okay, so look, we poked a lot of fun at different lame plot points and plot holes and stuff like that. I think plot holes and lame plot points individually are all forgivable, but having now gotten the full story here, I think what is unfortunate is that this is not a story by itself. It is a bunch of call-outs and references and foreshadowing to other things. Like, say what you will about House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon is a story in itself. Say what you will about the North. Well, actually, no, not the North Remembers. But like, I'm trying to think of something else. Like a bad story. Like, it's at least a story in and of itself. Like, imagine you went to see this and you'd never read the books or saw the show. It would just be the most confusing mess because it's a bunch of fucking call-outs and foreshadowing to stuff in the show and books. It's not a story by itself. I mean, having not seen it, but having a look at this, I think that's pretty unforgivable, is that it's just not a story in and of itself. Like, they were asked to write a story about Harrenhal, and instead they were like, you know what? That's just not enough. Let's do a bunch of fucking call outs and fan service shit, foreshadowing events in the books and show, and then call it a day. Like, throw some.
Do you think it's possible? Do you think it's because you witnessed the story through bullet points that I put out based off what people have told me? Do you think it's possible?
Maybe it's highlighting the Easter eggs and shit. You know,
sure, and that's exactly what I was trying to do in my video, was to highlight the lore and all the story beats. Do you think it's possible that you may enjoy? Because I'm not going to sit here and say this is trash. I can't do that because I'm not a right-wing grifter. I'm not nerdrotic. I'm not all these assholes.
Right.
I'm not going to cast something down if I haven't seen it, and I haven't seen this yet. But I'm asking you, do you think that maybe you might like it if you went to go see it?
Man, I mean, probably. I mean, like, what can be done? Like, first of all, the thrill of going to see something on stage is thrilling. People are there in person. It's much more engaging than going to see a movie. Okay, stage by itself, there's something special about stage because there's real life performers who can fuck up and flub a line at any moment. Like, and that makes you engaged. Like, holy shit, they're performing. There's that. There's a lot of pyrotechnics and puppets and stuff like that. That's going to be impressive. Absolutely. It's about material that, we love. And it's probably, these are the best stage actors in the fucking world portraying, doing this. This is Royal Shakespeare Company, of course, like with all of that, it's probably very thrilling and exciting, I mean, it's like when we watch House of the Dragon, and like House of the Dragon is incredibly well directed and it's incredibly well acted and it's got incredible special effects, But when you step back and look at the plot, you're like, yeah, this is good. Like I'm certain that I would go and be blown away by the spectacle on stage. But
it's why I didn't really do like a review. Can't do a review. I haven't seen it, but I just wanted to get the lore stuff out of the way. I find it fun. I was talking to Elio about this privately, and I mentioned the Robert stuff, and he goes, "Why? Why do that? Why can't Robert just love to fucking fight? Why give him this PTSD thing?" Yeah. By the way, the other thing that, as I was telling Preston last night before we recorded this, I was telling Preston some of the story details, and Preston says two things to me. He goes, "Fuck, I'm gonna be sick." And the other thing was, God damn, I feel so bad for Elio. I'm like, really? Why?
I do. I think Elio would hate this. I think Elio would fucking hate this. He's going to hate it so much. Yeah, he's going to really hate it. Like, it's just... Like, he might enjoy it again because it's a spectacle and it's stage and all of this, but he's really going to hate it.
Look, it might come
because he's gonna travel from Sweden and he's gonna go and he's gonna see this and he's just gonna be like, oh, now I have to be diplomatic about it.
Man, oh man, it's gonna come to the United States. It might come to or it might come to London, which I feel like would probably be slightly easier on people's wallets because
it's solidly sold out until for the rest of 2026, and then it's supposed to come to London in 2027. And so I'm sure it'll do another run there, and then who knows? But you're not going to see it in America. 2028 at earliest, or probably later. I mean, it took forever for Hamilton to like, if you're thinking, oh, maybe we're going to see it on HBO in like a Hamilton thing where, they videotaped Hamilton and showed it on Disney Plus. That was many, 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 many years later. After keep in mind that so stage is a big gamble. Most stage plays lose money, except once in a while one hits it out of the park and makes fucking record money. And so stage exists mostly due to donations from rich philanthropists and this occasional big mega hit like Hamilton. So the thing is, if this is a moneymaker, they're going to keep it on the stage to make money for the stage. And it'll be a while before
it took Hamilton 4 years to end up on Disney Plus, and that had the added pandemic situation.
Yeah, and like Disney Plus trying to have content and launching and all that. Yeah, and so it's sorry fans, it's gonna be a long time.
5 years. This is gonna be 2030, something like that. Why did he do this? Why did George sign off on this besides money? Just that it's cool.
Money. I wonder, I'm not going to lie, man. I wonder if the money is drying up just a little bit. I mean, because...
How?
How? It's hundreds of millions of dollars.
That goes very quickly. That was very quickly.
What?
For him?
On what? How? Like he's not.
Preston, have you seen those DoorDash
that theater, that bar that he made? Those things are really costing him money in Santa Fe.
Maybe, but here's the thing. Have you heard of the movie or seen the movie Brewster's Millions?
Yes, yeah. We've talked about this. How like it's impossible. Like the numbers get crazy when you go that high.
Right, and so like getting rid of your wealth is almost impossible. And so like the way people go broke is you have to like remodel your home over and over again and have no value added to your house, or you have an entourage and you're giving away gifts to your entourage constantly. Like MC Hammer had like 50 dudes that were following him around. He would buy them all cars, and it's like, fuck, dude. And then he's out of all of his money. I don't think George R.R. Martin has an entourage. I mean, he's got a couple minions that he hires, but like, he's not giving them millions. Like he's not, I don't think he's remodeling his house over and over again.
Doesn't have a yacht. He has his figurines that he loves. You know, he loves those figurines. Yeah.
I know he has horses for his wife. I know he has his little train. He's got his bar. He's got his theater.
Probably still have to pay off his student debts. Who knows?
Those don't take hundreds of millions of dollars.
You sure? Look, man, I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he really is done. Who the fuck knows? But honestly, again, looking back at this, I'm kind of glad Elio came out and said, guys, relax. This is not canon. But maybe Elio's just saying that for himself.
Well, it's going through it.
How
it's
can
impossible.
it be? Like that's
impossible.
Yeah, how can it be? You know,
directly.
That's why he said like some of the the one thing I can see being canon is possibly like Benjen knowing that, you know, John's parents are Rhaegar and Lyanna, and the other thing being like, I kind of hope is canon. I thought was really cool. Tywin ripping Jaime's white cloak off him, and him like being kind of pissed at him for that. Like I would think that was pretty cool. But like I could see some things here, but majority of it like the Dany Jon thing both being conceived on the same night. That's a little like
that's
really?
that's super sloppy.
Mm.
That I mean, and the Jaime thing is you're just fucking you're basing something on the text and then contradicting it. Like you got that scene from the text and then you decided to do it completely differently. I don't know. It's what weirdness, what absolute weirdness. Yeah, I guess we all have to go and and laugh at it and be like, sure, here it is.
I'm not going overseas to watch this. Like what is this? Like, what is
Are there any tickets left? Let me see.
Is like bootleg. We're gonna watch bootlegs probably, right?
Yeah,
like,
bootleg will probably come out. All right, Mad King Play tickets. Is it all sold out? Royal Shakespeare Company. Let's see. Book tickets. Let's see if there's any left. Sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out. Sold out all through September. Is there a next? No, that's it. Every show is sold out. Sorry. Running until final performance, September 5th. Every show is sold out. Sorry. Oh well.
Do you think George will comment on it? He'll do another blog, or no? Is this just the dead silent era? Where he just doesn't say anything?
Definitely going to go see it because I mean, come on, he has to, and he's probably going to be like, I had a blast. I'm sure we'll get a post like that.
It's so crazy he didn't do that for Duncan Egg.
It is.
Like nothing. Yeah.
It's so crazy he didn't do that for House of the Dragon season 3.
Well, he didn't even do like a promotion. He's like, season 3 is coming out. Nothing like that. Dang.
Damn. Damn. What are you going to do?
Yeah. So they're filming. So in case you're wondering, will there be a video performance of it? Yes. Wednesday, the 26th of August, they're filming it for their archive. 2 shows. And then who knows what they can do with that archive, like videotaping. But there's also an audio described performance. Would love to get that. Rhaegar walks out to child. Oh my. Well. Any final thoughts, Trey, on the Mad King? You ready to? I'm sorry that it's sold out. You just can't even go. Even if we were like, it's time for you to get on the flight, make it to England. Can't even do it. Every show
can't even do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I have anything to say about it. Besides just why? Like, was this worth it? Was this worth it? Just to confuse everything, muddy the waters, glaze up this character. It's a very expensive piece of fan fiction, is what I'll say.
They did call it, by the way, continuity wise, they did call it Game of Thrones : The Mad King, which makes it sound like it's in show continuity rather than.
Yeah, but let's be real here for a minute, Preston.
They think people are stupid.
Well, but let's be real here. Like, no one knows the series by A Song of Ice and Fire except book nerds. Everybody knows it by Game of Thrones. Everybody.
Yeah. Carmine.
How many channels are out there called A Song of Ice and Fire Explained? But there's like 30,000 ones called like Game of Thrones, Thrones this, Game of this. That's how the series is known by.
Game of Thrones podcast, man.
Right.
Carmine, any last thoughts?
No, I just wanted to thank everyone who reached out to me and told me everything they could. People were warning me though, like, yeah, ask me everything you can right now while it's still fresh, because I'm going to forget all this later. So I appreciate everyone reaching out to me and going and yeah, thank you for that. We got a lot of enjoyment out of
it. Was really fun hearing people talk about the play and chatting with people about this. And I do appreciate everybody, all the people that just dumped a lot of coin on this, handed the money over.
And shout out to the people who were not able to catch this because they had to go back to their lives. They couldn't afford to stay at Stafford upon Avon for more than a couple of days. Because remember that woman you showed me from Reddit who were saving up for 3 years just to go see this?
Yeah. Well, I hope she saw it and she had a great time, in the end. I mean, it sounds, hopefully. So, man, oh man. All right. Well, thank you both for chatting here for 2 hours, half of the length of The Mad King, because it's a 4-hour play, right?
Yeah.
Jesus. Those performers. All right. Well, I will talk to you guys later. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll see you next time.